So fixtures, what are fixtures in Cypress, and which is, if I can give you an overview of fixtures, so those are most powerful feature of Cypress. When it comes to loading static data into your test file, when it comes to mocking API request or certain data that we want to use, static data that we want to use inside our test. So those are the cases when fixtures becomes very useful for developer who, or person who is writing test cases for Cypress. So in this video we are going to talk about all of those, plus we are going to talk about Cypress custom commands. So yeah, without wasting much time, let's get started with today's video. So hello everyone, welcome to the fourth lesson of Cypress on Video Geeks YouTube channel, and in today's video we are going to talk about Cypress very most or useful feature, which is fixtures, and the second thing is commands, so the custom commands that we can write inside Cypress, right? So first we are going to start our discussion with fixtures folder. So you might have had an overview when we initialize the Cypress for the first time. And if you don't have Cypress setup inside your machine, we had covered already the video on it. So how to set up Cypress, I will have it link over here. Please make sure that you are watching those videos and after coming to these videos. Also, if you are just watching for the fixtures, so let's get started with fixtures. So fixtures is the folder that you might find by default inside this Cypress folder. So where you have E2E downloads and some other folders, you will also find something called fixtures. Now you can describe any type of file or put any static file over here. We have two JSON files. The example of JSON file, which is basically by default when we it will be there basically by default inside your folder. Also we have created this nodes.json file inside this fixture, which is basically nothing but the nodes attributes that we will store for our application. Now first we'll have an overview about applications, because some of you might be the first time for this video or our channel. So let's get an overview about what are we testing today. So we have this app called Arista Lab Requester, which is nothing but the GitHub page hosted on my GitHub repository. You can also use this URL if you want to perform practice for Cypress. If you want to perform writing test cases or practice the Cypress, so you can use this URL. And in today's video we are going to test this node tool. So when we click on this node tool, what we can do is by double clicking on canvas anywhere, we can add this node. While adding this node, we have two options, right? So we want to add a DUT type of node or Ixia type of node. Now you might not be aware about what is this node type DUT Ixia, because that is not relevant to you. But what we want to test is, we want to test that we are able to put both of this type of node. So first let's put this DUT type of node. So node alias, so we'll just give any name of the node, location, let's say rack1, move to, we don't want, or let's say we want to move it to some other rack, so rack2. And once we click on this configure, this node 1 will be over here. Now we can add another node just like this. Now we will add Ixia node, let's say 2 and rack 1. So that's how we configure node type DUT and node type Ixia. Now we want to test this, that whether we want whether we are able to put this put this type of DUT or put this type of Ixia nodes on the canvas. So how we will do that? So let's get to Cypress. So now this is the file that we had seen in the last video, where we have seen the how to write assertions in the Cypress. By the way, for that video, if you have not watched and if you want to watch how to write assertions in Cypress, I have a detailed video over here in the popping up in the right side of over here in the I button. You can have a watch over there. And now we want to move to these two test cases that we have wrote over here. So first test case is this, which verifies that whether we are able to add the DUT to canvas, and this is the test which verifies that we are able to add the Ixia to canvas. Now first we are going to have a look at this test case, which verifies that whether we are able to add the DUT to the canvas. Now the steps to add the DUT to the canvas are pretty simple. So first we are going to double click on the canvas. Now here fixtures help us in a way that we have this data for each of the dots, that each of the nodes that we are going to add on the canvas. So remember, first we need the two x and y coordinates that we for using this we will add this dot to the canvas. Now after that we need certain data, so what is the type of dot, what should be the alias, what should be location, and whether we want to move that dot to another position. So for that we have this something called move to. So using those parameters we have described the two dots in the fixtures file. Now what we are doing is, before each we have declared this nodes, and in the before each hook we are using this side.fixture. Now side.fixture is a command. You can have a detailed overview on the Cypress page. So this is the detailed fixture about fixture. This is the detailed page on the Cypress website on the fixtures. So you can have more information about how we can use this, what are the files that we can load using the side.fixture, and other things. You can get the more information from over here. Now main purpose of this side.fixture is nothing but to load static files that are here in the fixture folder. Now we can specify the full file path, but we just need to we don't need to give the full path, because let's say we don't have any files with the with the same name but the different extension, then we can specify the full name. Otherwise, let's say if we just have this single file name with this one extension, then we can just specify this side.fixture and inside the file name. So it will look for file name inside this fixtures folder, which is inside the Cypress directory, right? Then if we want that all this this is the type of object, so this object should be stored in this nodes variable that we have described over here. So that we are doing inside this before each hook. Now once we got all those data, what we are going to do is we are going to use it inside this our test. So nodes, then node 1, which is nothing but the key over here, then x, which is nothing but the key inside this node 1, right? So using those values we are going to add a node. Then we are going to verify that model not config. So that is the model that we had created environment variable inside this config.js. So over here you can see this is nothing but the id selector over here, so that we are using with this side.get. So we will verify that whether that model is visible or not, because once we double click on the canvas, that should be visible. Then after we are going to select the node type. So for that we will be finding the node type, which is nothing but the select that we have over here. So this is the normal form. So this is the select node type select button or select input field. So that over here we will going to select what is the node type. Then we will enter the node alias, then we will enter the location, then we will select whether we want to move to or not, and if we have moved to, then where we want to move. So those things we are going to input in this folder. So over here we are nothing but the inputting all the data that we want. Over here in the step 5 we will verify that whether the move to is a boolean. If it is a boolean, then we just uncheck this checkbox, and then if it is not a boolean, then we will check that checkbox where it says move to, and after that we will enter that where we want to move that node to. Then we will click on the configure button, so that is this, and then after we will verify that the node configuration model should not be visible, because that will not be visible after we click on this button, configure button. Then we will click on the node, but node on the same position where we had created the node, because what happened is, so if you see over here, once we click on the node, it says selected node. It doesn't says that selected node tool, right? So that is the by default condition. And once we click on the same position, it says selected node tool. So by verifying that whether this label text is changing or not, when we click on this position where we had a node, that verifies that node is added or not, right? So That's why we had this step 8 that will verify the label. So all these steps are over here, will verify that whether we are able to add the dot to the canvas or not. Now we will move to custom commands, but before that what we can do is we can just open the Cypress using npx cypress open command, and we will just use this third lesson. We will run this spec file. So as you can see, all the three test cases are passed, and we are successfully verifying that we are able to add the dot to the canvas. Now we are going to have a look at the Cypress custom commands. So you might now have got the idea that how fixtures are useful in the Cypress. But now let's say this is the repeated step in your in your project. If you want to perform this many steps, let's say when we want to test this node tool, so these are the steps that we want to repeatedly perform. So what we can do is, rather than writing these repeated steps again and again in every test cases, we can have this command, which is a Cypress custom command, right? So if you have seen this support folder, which is also inside this Cypress directory, so this support directory, it will have this command.js file. So this is the file where we can specify our custom command. So all these steps that we have used over here, those are nothing but the steps that we have used over here, right? So this custom command, how we can describe this custom command, those are already given over here as an example. But just for you to understand, we can use this cypress.commands.ted, and this is the name of the custom command that we want to keep. After that, what are the parameters that this command should accept, and this is the arrow function. So in function we will describe that what this Cypress custom command will do. Now all the steps that we did over here, we can just copy paste it and over here, and what we want to do is we want to pass this entire object into this custom command. That's why I have kept this node as an parameter, and then over here in the steps we will use this node.x, node.y, node.alias, node.location. So all the key of this particular nodes, right, of this particular node, so that we will use over here. And this is nothing but just the same steps over here that we have described. So as you can see, this is the third test where we are verifying that whether we are able to add the XCR to the canvas or not. So we will add the node on the canvas, so we are passing nodes.node2. Then we will click on the same position and we will verify that whether the label text matches the selected node or not. So this is nothing but the introduction of fixtures and supports in the custom commands in the Cypress. So I hope you have got the idea about these two sections, which is nothing but the fixtures and custom commands in the Cypress. I will write this fourth lesson.md, which is the readme file inside the docs that we are following since the last 3 sessions also, and I'll commit this to my GitHub repository for you if you want to take my learning snapshots, or if you want to just watch my videos and look at the code, what are the examples, right? So that's it for this video. If you have any questions related to fixtures or commands, so you can let me know in the comments. If you want me to make a specific video for Cypress, you can also let me know in the comments. And yeah, we'll meet in the next video. Till then, keep learning and keep exploring.